seasons. Last week, Jerry Harrison looked at the players who won promotion. Tonight, he looks at the man who inspired them, manager David Pleat.
It's rare for any manager in his first job to lead his players into the First Division, and even rarer to hear David Pleat raise his voice in any circumstances.
Alan, when you get the ball, I want you to drop volley onto Clive Goodyear and Mal Donaghy's head.
When he came to the club as a coach in 1975, 10 years after being a player here, Harry Haslam told him, "Stick around, you'll be the manager one day." He was only 33 when he took over an unsettled club, in debt, no coaching staff, players coming and going, and erratic results.
I felt I could do it if given the opportunity, but I think until one actually sits in the seat and is in that position yourself of making the decisions, then no one can possibly know what they really let themselves in for. And I think for a young manager now to get over the first year is an achievement for anyone going into the game down the lower leagues, because of the pressures, not only from the public, the press, the board, the difficulties with the players since freedom of contract. If you can survive and make decisions and be brave and try and be sensible about the whole thing, then you've got a chance. But it's difficult to get through that first year.
The transformation has taken only 2 years, based on Pleat's principles of attacking football, good passing, good control and teamwork. The players' only weakness? They lacked experience and occasionally belief in themselves. Brian Horton was the last piece of a complicated jigsaw, and probably David Pleat's best ever signing.
I think we needed a push this year. I've gone for 1 or 2 experienced players in the past to try and help the young side on the field, and we hadn't got those players. Bob Hatton was a good buy. He did it. He helped Brian Steele immensely, I think, in his first year here. That was a good buy. I think the way the boy Donaghy and Stevens have justified the little amount of money, comparatively speaking, that was spent on them has been a credit to them. Finlay, who came out of reserve team soccer at Aston Villa with no real experience of first team play, he's come well after a terrible start here when people were telling me, you know, what have I done, you better go and put your head in the oven. But Finlay came through it tremendously well. There's been others. Moss we've given a bit of confidence to after languishing at Swindon for several years. Brian Steen and Ricky Hill, who we bought really from babies here, with no fees involved, but just a genuine desire to work hard with them and make them better. But of course they've done it themselves.
What David Pleat himself has done this season is make a £300,000 profit on transfers, 1 promotion, strengthened the squad, and learned not to try to do everything himself.
You learn as you go along. I've always found great difficulty in delegating as much as I should, but the longer you go, the more you give people responsibility, and the more you realise that you're not indispensable, they can do it. David Coates, who's my right hand, he's been a tremendous effect this year. He's got a good rapport with the players, he's a man of information, he's got a better memory than Leslie Welsh. John Sheridan, the physio, I can only say that he works 8 days a week, and his knowledge on each day is as much as the other. He's a very good man.
Now the players' names are up in lights, and even with 4 games still to go, can start thinking about the First Division.
These boys have come up together, and that makes for tremendous camaraderie and spirit. And if they stick together, and I sincerely hope they all do, and they realise the wonderful goal they've achieved and continue to play in the First Division, then I feel that they can not surprise themselves. They may be sticking the chest out on the quiet now and saying they're going to get right through and win the First Division next year.
But what of his future? There's a saying among managers, get out while the going's good. You're a winner only in short spells.
Because I've heard it bandied about that 3 years is long enough, either players change or you change, but maybe that's not so. Maybe you change other things, you change the odd player, or you maybe change the system that you play. It may happen that it's not for me, or there's nothing more I can do. I think the time will come, if it does come, and I will know.